Welcome back to part 2 in our series of figure drawing with Tim Gula. In this episode, Tim shows us his pencil sharpening method and how it helps to draw rhythm lines.
And that's a great pose, so let's take advantage of that. I'm following the weight. That's where the rhythm lines are going. They're following and defining the weight.
How many pencils did you prepare for today?
I prepared about 8 because they'll break or they'll dull, so I'm not hindered by my lack of equipment in the drawing experience, like especially with a great model like Sarah here. I do not want to stumble over things that I shouldn't. This pose needs to be drawn, and yeah, the more you draw, everybody, the more that statement's gonna have meaning. Like, oh, look at that pose, I gotta draw it. You're compelled because now you have the secrets, and you keep practicing, because that is the secret of it all. You keep practicing and you'll experience triumph beyond your wildest dreams. And look at artists like Frank Brangwyn. Look online, Frank Brangwyn, because he's the originator of this whole method. Fantastic designer and muralist. If you don't know who that is, then you must find out. And the more that you practice this wholeheartedly, the more you'll believe in yourself and what you're capable of. And then kind of like a magic takes place. You start doing things that you didn't think possible prior. Okay, that's good. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Awesome. I am going to sharpen the Ripmo pencil. And you're probably going to have to go online to find these. These are the ones I recommend. They're probably the most available. It's important that you know how to sharpen the pencil more to draw in the method that we're using. So what I do is I get a regular blade, the kind that with the safety end, so I can hold it. And then once I have that, then I start about, say, there. I give myself a lot of playroom, and then I just start to carve. Nice and easy. You want to take your time, so A, you don't destroy the pencil, like these are hard to come by, and B, you don't do harm to yourself. Because everything works together. The paper, the surface of the paper, the type of pencil that works best on the surface of the paper, it all works in concert with one another. And you want to kind of like that harmony, because then it creates a sense of comfortable. You're comfortable with it all, and that creates like a confidence that you're going to need to persevere to reach that level that you want to be at. Okay, so I've carefully carved away that much of the pencil, so that much is revealed before I now start to shape the point. And by doing that, I just keep the blade at this angle, and I don't take off much. And as I'm carving, I'm turning it. I'm letting my fingers turn it like that. Nice and easy. You have to be patient, and you have to be careful, because you want your tools to work for you.
Could you tell them why you expose so much of the charcoal?
Okay, and why I expose it, because I don't think of the pencil as a pencil. I think of it in terms like of a brush. And why I say a brush, because you're able to cover a lot of space, a lot of territory on the surface of the paper. That's why I give so much I reveal so much of the lead. So there's a method to this madness. Very careful. I'm turning it, rotating it as I carve, and I just remove the slightest amount, because that A keeps the point true, so it's not like bumpy or jagged, and B, the pencil point itself will be a nice shape to work with, like a brush. I don't think of it as a pencil, I think of it as a brush. It's important that you make that mental distinction. You're not like writing your name, you're making definable images and designs. And so as I get towards the end, now I have to be a little more surgical about the whole thing, because I need that point to be just right. You kind of want it looking almost lethal. Like, ooh, that's a formidable looking thing. And it is. Formidable design. Okay, there, see? Let's go by the paper here so you can see it better. See?
Wow, Tim, that's a really beautiful pencil. Another important thing to keep in mind is studying with several instructors. I like to bring on guests like Tim to my channel who have valuable knowledge to share. But even with all these extra instructors, there's no way Proko could make lessons for everything art related. That's where this video's sponsor, Skillshare, comes in. Skillshare has thousands of online classes covering a huge range of artistic and business subjects, such as photography, graphic design, web development, and more. If you go premium, you get unlimited access to Skillshare's classes from working experts, so you can keep your brain as sharp as your pencil. It's affordable too. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. If you liked seeing Tim Gula's gesture drawings and you're interested in seeing how far you can push to stylized illustrations, check out Tom Fro's course called Odd Bodies. Learning to draw such graphic, expressive characters could help loosen up your line work if your gestures are a little stiff. Because Skillshare is sponsoring this video, you can sign up with the link in the description and get a 2-month free trial. All right, back to you, Tim.
Look how I have it like a nice design even. Even the pencil itself is a nice design to help my design even further on the paper. And now you're going to see why I've gone to such lengths to make this pencil the way it is. Okay, here. See now how I'm able to like use those, because I have now so much available to me, and with the shape I've given the lead itself, it helps me to make those rhythm lines that much more convincingly. And get those shapes more definable.
You're not using the tip, you're using the side.
I'm using, yeah, the side. It's all on, exactly. I am not using the tip. I use the side, and like I said, I think of it as a brush, because I want it to cover a lot of territory on the surface of the paper. Feel the flow, capture the design, feel the movement, the shape. And this is the Fred Fixler method of sharpening. I sharpen it in such a way, the more I draw, and if I keep it at that angle, the pencil actually keeps forming itself. So it never dulls unless, of course, you break it or something. And it just keeps getting more and more, the point becomes more and more pleasant and easy to work with. Okay, let's say now, let's do a head. If you hold it at the right angle and you keep it there, the pencil just becomes more evolved for the type of drawing you do. If you see Riley's stuff, definitely the history's there, but Fred kind of took it, well, and modified it to his own The result is pretty much the same, but their approach is a little customized to their own needs. Getting back to the pencil, see, the pencil kind of just now takes on its own life because I've given it this shape that the more I use it properly, the more it adapts. But if you, the viewer, find it useful, then use it.
How long did you study with Fred?
Let me see, from 1981 to 1984, 5. So, yeah, 4 or 5 years. He was a tough teacher. But you know, I at the time I wasn't too happy about that, but looking back now, I'm glad. It's funny how that goes. While you're experiencing it, it's like, oh God, why am I doing this? But then afterwards, years later, you look back and oh, thank God I did. I'll tell you what, like for instance, like he would like look at your drawing and he'd just go like, oh, you're never gonna get it. I don't know why you're here. I don't know whether to take your money or give it back. But you know, and it'd be like, oh, did he say that? Oh no. But somehow that would only make you that much more adamant about the whole thing. I'll show you, you'll see. You'll see, I'll get this no matter what. And luckily I did. Here's a true story that because later I confronted him on like, what's with all that harshness? And he says, well, here's an example of how Riley was, Frank Riley, his teacher. Now look, now imagine this class. It was him, James Bama, Mort Drucker, Jack Davis, all in his class. I mean, like a lot of these great artists, you know, in there. And Riley would come in one time and everybody be working away feverishly with the model. And Riley would take his kind of like aloof survey and he'd say like, oh, what's the use? I mean, can you imagine that? I mean, Jack Davis, Mort Drucker, Frank, Obama, I mean, and Riley, what's the use? So, you know, and then it says, okay, I get it. It's like, and through that intimidation that, you know, it sparks some kind of like, okay, then that's it. I will get this. I am not going to be put off like that. And a lot of people would leave, you know, with tears. But a lot of people hung on there tenaciously. And, you know, us, the viewers, the fans, are all better for it. Because look how like good all those people I mentioned became thanks to him. And in Fred's class, you know, it was me, that was Glenn Orbick. I mean, a lot of good people there too. Greg Pro, and we all suffered together. Mark Westermo, Laurel Bleckman, fantastic artist. And we all grew together, and we all evolved, and it's a good thing. The collective does form, like you can feel it, the pulse, and it's atmospheric after a while, and it was, and Fred was the catalyst. And had he not been so harsh and intimidating, who knows, we might not have taken it as seriously and not had felt the value of it once we finally got at a certain level, like, oh man, we earned that. And that's important to grow as a person and an artist.
So how can people find you?
Just put Tim Gula Instagram and bam, all of a sudden you'll be inundated with imagery.
Anything else?
And YouTube, yeah, and then you can also see me draw and get my secrets and use them for your own benefit.